Now we are going to see how to interface a passive infrared sensor or PIR sensor, commonly known as motion sensor, with the Arduino. So for that, for time being, I am going to use the same LED switch program what we have done before. So for that, this is a LED switch block programming TinkerCad circuit I have drawn. So here when you are pointing onto this, you can see two buttons, tinker this. If you want to make some modification in this and run this program, you can click on this tinker this. But again, once you have made the modification, it will be saved in the same program name itself. But if you want to make some modification and if you want to save it in another name, you can use duplication of this circuit. So for that you can click on the settings icon, click on this, then you need to click on duplicate. So you can see that another copy of this circuit will be created in the TinkerCad site itself, so that you can modify it and you can save it in different name. So now you can see that copy of LED switch block program, a new circuit was, a new Tinker file was created with a name like this. So first of all I am going to change this name. So for changing this name and saving it in another name, you can click on this. Then I am going to change it to PIR underscore buzzer block programming. So here what I am going to do is, I am going to interface a PIR sensor or motion sensor as well as buzzer with this Arduino board. So first of all I will delete the previous switch and LED components. You can click on the corresponding component you need to delete and you can press the delete button. So whichever component and wire you are selecting, that will be deleted. So I am going to zoom out a little bit, so you can scroll the mouse button towards bottom portion so that I can make the connection easily. Now I am going to connect the PIR sensor, so you can move the components window or scroll the components window down. Then you can see that PIR sensor is available, so you can drag and you can keep it here, say somewhere here. So three pins are there in the PIR sensor. So PIR stands for passive infrared sensor. So it will detect the passive infrared rays emitted from a human body, that is heat radiation is emitted from the human body, and there is a Fresnel lens over the sensor. This white color thing is a Fresnel lens. So whatever heat radiations it is coming and falling on the Fresnel lens, it will be converged to a particular sensor present inside, which is kept below the Fresnel lens, and when the PIR value, the infrared value is above certain limit, it will be detected as motion. When we are moving in front of the Fresnel lens, our passive infrared radiations will change and it will detect the motion. So it is having three terminals. One is known as signal, that is output which is generated from the PIR sensor. Then power, it is used for connecting to VCC or 5 volt. Then ground pin, which is to be connected to ground of Arduino. So first of all, I am going to connect the signal pin to pin number 2, because in the last program we were using the same pin number 2 as an input which is generated from the switch. So switch was connected to pin number 2. So same pin I am going to use. So I am going to connect the signal pin to pin number 2. So whatever signal it is generated from the PIR will be read at pin number 2. Then power I am going to connect it to the VCC pin or 5 volt pin. This is a 5 volt. I am going to connect it here. Then ground I am going to connect it to ground pin. So this is a ground pin I am going to connect, right? And if you want to change the color of each of these connections, you can do that. So let us take, I need to change the color of this wire. So you can click on this. Then in the top corner you can see wire color. You can click on this drop down and select red. So VCC wire will be shown as red. Similarly, I can change the color of ground wire. You can click on that, change it to black. So it will be black, and the signal wire, let us change it to say yellow. So you can select that wire, select yellow. This is how we are changing the color. So I have given the input from the Pir sensor to the pin number 2 of Arduino board. Now I need to connect a buzzer as output. So this is a buzzer, piece of buzzer. You can drag and drop it here, right? And I have told that pin number 13 you are using for connecting an LED which is present on board. So pin number 13 is connected to onboard LED. To the same pin I am going to connect the buzzer. So buzzer, you can see two pins are there. One is known as positive, another one is known as negative. So the positive pin I am going to connect it to pin number 13 where the inbuilt LED is connected. Negative wire I am going to connect it to say the ground. This is the ground pin. Again I am going to change the color of that ground pin as black, and the positive pin I am going to change it as red, right? So this is a circuit diagram. So I have connected a buzzer to pin number 13 and the ground I have connected to ground. Similarly, for getting the input for making this buzzer on, I have used a Pir sensor. So whenever a motion is detected in the Pir sensor, the signal generated from the Pir sensor will be sent to pin number 2 of Arduino. So what I am doing is I will check whether pin number 2 is getting 1 or 0. Right? If I am getting 1, I need to switch on the buzzer. If I am getting 0, I need to switch off the buzzer. From where does you get the 1 and 0? It is generated from the Pir sensor based on whether the motion is detected or not. So what will be the code for this? The code for this is same as we have seen before. We have done this code in the previous video. You can go through that and identify what you have done. So I am reading the digital pin 2. If the value of pin is equal to 1, then I am going to make the built-in LED to high. Which is a built-in LED? Which is connected to pin number 13. Similarly, if the value of digital pin 2 is equal to 0, that built-in LED will be made as low. So since I have connected the buzzer also to the same pin number 13 to which the built-in LED was connected. So when I am using the function built-in LED to high, what does it happen? Built-in LED will be switched on, along with that buzzer also will be switched on. Similarly, when the digital pin 2 is having a value 0, we are making built-in LED to low. So since again the same buzzer is connected to pin number 13, buzzer also will be made as low. Both the built-in LED and buzzer will be switched off. Now let us start the simulation of this project. So first of all I am clicking on this code editor button. So it will go to the one side. Now you can click on the start simulation button. So it will start simulating, right? If you want to zoom out little bit, you can zoom out little bit. Otherwise sometimes this person simulation button will not be visible. So this is the button, or this is a circle which is going to simulate the person who is moving in front of the Pir. So if the person is within this range, then only the buzzer will be working. That means the Pir can detect only the person movement within this area, this green color area. If he is going outside this area, the buzzer will not work. That means this Fresnel lens and the Pir sensor cannot detect the movement of the person within this range. That is why it is shown in red color. When you are bringing him towards this, it will be shown in green color. You can see this. This is how you are creating a motion detection system using Pir, buzzer and Arduino.